A little story time today. I know it's been a while. So this story time is gonna be about the time where my American roommate kicked my I mean, she honestly fought me. Let's call her Amanda. Amanda was crazy. In the beginning it was very subtle. So I came late in the evening and I just went straight to bed. But the next day I knocked on her door. Knock knock. Hi, I'm Cassie. I'm your new roommate. Pleasure to meet you. She didn't like open the door or greet. She was like, yeah. There were some instances where she would just be really gross and I would leave little notes. I have a pet peeve. I don't like hair, human hair, body hair. Like, just clean it up, you know. I don't know what she did. I don't know if she was shedding like an animal. I really do not know what was going on, but there was a lot of hair all over the bathroom. I went inside and it was like it just zoomed in all over the place. I was just like, what the heck is going on in here? It was so gross. So I left a note on the mirror on her side because it's her side and my side and the sink in the middle. Likewise in the kitchen setup. I left a note and I said, I wasn't exactly very polite. Can you clean this up? This is really disgusting. Like something like that. Come home the next night or something and she took the hair and wrapped it up in like hair balls, wrapped it and put it in my stuff. I'm not kidding you. My toothbrush holder, she stuffed it in there. Hair grease and stuff, she opened the lid and put it in and like put in my makeup products and just put all the hair from her side, like scooped it up and put it on my side. Now she crossed the line. Like already she was pissing me off, but I mean that was just too much. So I went to the school. I went and made a physical complaint and I was living in the smaller room because it's an apartment, but there's one huge room and then there's another room that's just smaller. Back then I was living in that room. The smaller rooms do not have AC units. I would usually leave my door open so that I can get some of the air conditioning from the living room, you know, to cool the temperature in there because it was summer, it's hot. I would sleep with the door open. And some nights she would come in really late at night and she would like put the flash on her phone and shine it at me, like at my face while I'm sleeping. I don't know if she wanted to see me. Honestly, when I think about it, it actually makes me really uncomfortable. I think the first time I just saw the light, but I didn't really, you know. Who would think that your freaking roommate is like looking at you with her phone like this? Like, who's doing that? So freaking weird. Anyway, the second time she did it, I was like really awake. Like my eyes were closed, but you know, you have to pretend to be asleep to fall asleep. So I was doing that. And she came in with the flashlight and like was looking at me. It's so weird, right? What if I opened my eyes? What if you're so close to me right now and you're like looking at me with your flashlight in my face? What if I open my eyes and look at you back? What would we do? Would she whack me? What would she do? Would she be like, oh, I don't even know. I can't even think of something. There was something on you. I don't know. Like, who does that? She was looking at me while I sleep. I don't know. Anyway, I just always think back in my head, like, what would have happened if I opened my eyes and be like, what the hell are you doing? So there's a lot of stuff that happened, but let's get to the Amanda. Amanda bought a microwave. There's a kitchen sink, there's the left side, and then there's the right side and the kitchen sink in the middle, right? So when you're sharing a space, especially a common area, like it's common sense that if one side is yours, the other is mine. Likewise in the bathroom, which we already established. So you would think that, you know, the same applies for all general areas of the apartment, but I think not. Amanda had her microwave on one side and then she bought a dish rack and put it on the other side for her dishes. Now we're not friends, obviously. At this point we're just coexisting. I have nowhere to put my dish, so being civil, I put her dish rack, instead of having it horizontally taking up the entire cabinet space, I put it vertically so that I can put my stuff on the other side next to it, right? But that was not okay for her. She needed all of the space, my darling. She needed the bigger rooms. She needed everything. She needed all of the space. So I came back one evening, met my dishes on the stove, moved my stuff and displaced them, meaning no, this is not your space. So then I do it again and I put a note on top and I said, this is my space, this is your space, act accordingly. Like, she tore it up and she also tore up the bathroom note and put it in my stuff. Like, what happened this night changed everything. So before I saw exactly what happened, I opened the door and I went to the kitchen. I immediately saw what was going on. Before I can even process it, I hear her room door bust open, right? busts open and she runs out to me. She's like, bitch, don't you ever touch my stuff, da 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 da. And I'm just like, whoa. And she's coming very close. She's coming, she's like, don't ever touch my stuff, who do you think you are, da 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 da. Very hostile. And now me, I've never gotten into a fight in my entire life. So this situation here is very hyper for me. It's too much. She needs to tone it down. We're adults, like what the heck is going on? And she's a senior and I was a sophomore at this time, so she's in her last year and I'm in my second. I obviously don't know what the heck's going on. I have all my winter jackets on and I'm just like, I just came inside the freaking apartment. Listen, what is so complicated? What don't you understand about my note? I see that you read it. What is so complicated? She's like, don't talk to me, just don't touch my stuff. If you ever touch my stuff again. And then I was like, what are you gonna do? Like, why are you talking like this? But like, honestly, why can't you understand about this being my side and this being your side? Why can't you understand? She's like, are you trying to say something to me? And she comes and she pushes me. I don't know how it escalated to that. Honestly, I would never thought to put my hands on her. I don't know why she thought she could do it to me. She pushed me. And then I got furious, so I dropped my school bag. And I was like, honestly, this can get real out of hand. Calm yourself down, stop. And I started talking to her in my dialect. Like, I'm not afraid of you, but just like calm it down because I'm not trying to fight with you. She pushes me again. She pushes me again. I don't know why. I pushed her back. I did. Like, she chucked me and then I chucked her back. And then she had this robe on, right? Pulled out her robe, loosed it, and she was like, if I wasn't pregnant, I would beat your. And I'm just like, oh my freaking god, are you kidding me right now? Can this get any more ballistic? Can this really get any more bizarre? So she's pregnant, but she wants to fight. She's initiating a fight with me. But then when she saw me push her back, she immediately, you know, because I'm not, obviously, first of all, I didn't want to fight. And I'm not gonna like get in trouble for like putting a unborn fetus in harm or whatever. I'm not trying to like deal with all of that. I just want to disagree and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna head out, you know? Like so I forgot to mention this. Wait. So let's go anti-climax for a second. I noticed a couple days that she's always home, like her car is always parked in the parking lot. And that's because she had one of these big black anklets on. It's like the Medea, one of those Medea shows where she's wearing this big black anklet that beeps. It's some kind of federal thing. It's like a house arrest thing. There you go. Keep that in mind. She has an anklet on. She's done something wrong with the Fed. And now we're back to the climax, right? She wants to fight. And when I pushed her back and she said she was pregnant, I was like, honestly, I don't want nothing to do with you. Just leave me alone. But honestly, you cannot have both spaces. And it goes for everything in this house. Everything here. You need to calm your little self down. Like, you need to calm down. I don't know what it is going on with you. I am not interested. I don't want to know if you're pregnant or not. I don't want to know any of this. Just my space is mine and yours is yours. Can you act accordingly? Don't come talking to me. Like, you started this. And she comes and pushes me like this. Like, oh my god. So then I push her back. I don't know. I was just so tired of like this. I was so tired of it happening. I was so frustrated with, like, she's not listening to me. This is out of hand. She is assaulting me. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. And then so now both our hands are on each other's like shoulders like this. And you know, she's pushing, I'm pushing. So I pushed her all the way into her room. Because remember, her door was open because she bust through to come and attack me. So her door was open. I pushed her into her room. And I was like, stay in there. You stay in there. And I don't know. Now this is where it got really bad for me. It's not even laughing matter. But this is where it got really bad for me. And that's when she grabbed my hair. No, I don't do the weaves. I don't do the stuff. I keep it natural for the most part. You know, or some protective stuff, some braids or something. But I had it like this. I had it in twists. And it was down. And she grabbed my hair. She grabbed, like, I think maybe a plait or two. And honestly, when she grabbed my hair, I went down. Like, she pulled it down and I went down too. And that's when it got really bad. That's when it got really painful. I think this was like the first week of December, because like somebody came over and we were gonna study together. That's when I was like crying out, and like while I was on the floor, like I had my winter jacket, but she was like kicking me, and she was being very like abusive. I don't have any bruises because I had on my jackets, but I did lose some hair. I'm not kidding you. She pulled up my hair. It was pounding. It was hurting so bad. And like I couldn't do anything. I became so helpless, you know? Like I became so helpless. I don't know. Apparently the first thing you do in a female fight, you grab somebody's hair, and then, you know, I don't know. I didn't have any experience, and it was really bad. I think like my friend that came over heard me yelling in pain and came and separated us. Like he stood in the middle, put me in my room, went for my shoes in her room, brought them to my room, my Air Force, my G Phasers. I had like 911 done. Like I was freaking assaulted. This is whack. Like something has to be done. Like this is not how it's gonna go down. And he pulled my phone out of my hand. He's like, what are you doing? He reminded me that, you know, if you fight, you're out, right? And our school had a policy where you fight, you're out. And that night I couldn't hear him. I couldn't hear what he was saying. It didn't make sense to me. It just made sense that I was assaulted, this is very unjust, and I need justice, and it's not okay. The way how my school is, my university, nothing gets done. Nothing really gets done. And so I went and I made complaints. I spoke with my host family, I spoke with family at home, we made complaints. No, I couldn't use the word fight, because unlike Amanda, I had something to lose. She's pregnant, she didn't sign up for any classes. I know that because my academic advisor is the head of academic advising, and I told her what happened in confidence, and she asked me what the student's name was, and she said that girl isn't even registered for any classes. So she had nothing to lose. She was pregnant, she didn't register for classes, she obviously has some issues with the feds, and so she had nothing to lose. I, an international student on scholarship, in my second year, not my last year, I have a lot to lose. I had to humble myself. I had to make complaints without using the word fight, and I had to say like, we are so incompatible, we cannot live together. The school made arrangements to have her come in. They wanted us to meet and talk. So you know what, I was like, you know what, I'll play the charade. She just needs to go. I can't do it anymore. She never showed up to any of the meetings. She was like, I'm not legally obligated to show up to any meeting to have a discussion about housing. She never came, and they never did anything about it. In the long run, she would have still been my roommate if it wasn't her decision to leave school. That's really sad, because it could have been way worse. If he didn't pot it, I don't know what could have happened. I don't know how far it could have gone. It was not an easy time for me. It was very tough. And I had exams. What I wanted to share that story time for is that you have to be very careful who you let around you. Sometimes it's not even your fault. Like in this case, the school paired us, you know, it was circumstantial. What I learned from that experience is that you cannot be very quick to act. And that's because if I had called the police and make a report that night, or if I had told the school exactly what happened to me, I would have lost my scholarship, and I wouldn't be in my junior year at college right now. I would be at home right now with an incomplete, you know, education experience. Sometimes you gotta think about the greater good of things. Sometimes you really have to compromise for what you really want, you know. Honestly, I have never seen her since. She never finished her degree, but she posted on social media that she graduated from college. That story, I know I was laughing a lot in the beginning, but that story was very serious. I thought about it for a really long time. The whole Christmas break, I was thinking about what I should do, what can be done. I'm really happy that she left, and I'm really disappointed in my institution, because if she didn't leave, if she didn't make the decision on her own, I don't know what happened, because I never slept in the apartment since that night. I couldn't go back. It did something to me. I was just terrified of, you know, I was like, because I was just opening my apartment with my key. It was like 10:15 at night. The last thing I was expecting is for someone to assault me. She was so hostile, very hostile. I can remember very vividly. She just came at me and she didn't want to talk. She just wanted to be physical. it was very serious. So honestly, if you're in a situation like this, if you're living with someone who makes you feel uncomfortable, try to get help. Especially like if you don't have anything to lose, you know, like in my situation I did. So I had to be humble. I had to be humble and be quiet for a little bit and let things work out themselves. But if you can get out of a situation like this, get out, you know. And thank you for listening to my story time, and I hope that it resonated with you in some way, form, or shape. It gives you courage in a way that can help you speak up about something, or if you know someone's in a really uncomfortable situation relating to housing or anything, rather, you know, just lend an ear and lend a helping hand, you know. And anyway, stay blessed, peace, love, charity, everything. Take care.